Welcome back to Fluxtaposed. This is episode 251, recorded on February 26th.
Lucas, what the hell are you doing? That's my job.
Oh,
You're done. Your time to shine is over. I'm back.
Crap.
I'm here to do the thing.
I didn't even know you were here, dude. Did you just get here?
No, I've been here the whole time.
Oh,
I was here the past 2 weeks. You just wouldn't even let me talk.
Oh,
You didn't even let me talk.
Sorry, dude. I'll watch out for that next time. Please continue.
Can I do it? Can I do the thing now? Can I cold open the show?
I mean,
I'd like to.
That's what we pay you for.
You don't pay me nothing. Anyway, on the docket today, hey, I'm back. Whatchuplayin featuring Paddleton and Moonlighter. We're gonna just riff for a bit because guess what? I've been gone. Nobody knows what's happening. You know what happens when we have a filler show. And finally, we're gonna close it out with what's around the web and that sweet, sweet awkward finish. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Check your chicken and enjoy the show. Greatest secret level music in all of gaming? I think so. Welcome back to Fluxtaposed. I am Jason Lacey, and I am joined by my good friend, my co-host, Mr. Lucas Rose.
Hello, everybody.
How good does it feel to be able just to push buttons and not have to try to say things at the same time? Because I've done that before, and it's not fun. It's not fun to have to produce and drive at the same time.
It was okay the first time because it was a novelty. I was like, oh, this will be fun. I can do whatever I want. And then the second time it was like, oh boy, novelty is wearing off.
And then you're like, there better not be a third time?
Yeah, pretty much. Third time is not a charm in this case.
Well, we'll talk on that. But I think you did. You did an excellent job, and you were by no ways carried by the hosts that you had appearing in my absence with you. It was
true.
all you.
It's true. It was all me. They barely said anything.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching live, I see a few of you in the chat. Hello, Dan. Hello, Deuterino. And I appreciate you guys listening at home on the feeds. You can join us on Discord, fluxtaposed.com/Discord. And hey, if you want to, if you're just feeling generous, or you know what, you're just batshit crazy like the rest of us, you can check out patreon.com/fluxtaposed. More on that in a little bit. And Lucas, we're still a Humble partner. That's still a thing.
Yes,
right?
we are. Yes, we are.
So that's a cool thing where you can get an awesome product, help support charity, and we somehow benefit too because we're not charitable, but it all works out. But
it's true.
Humble's a great thing. And I want to clear up some misconception because I think some people think that if they do Humble monthly, we get money every month. No, it doesn't work that way. I'm not trying to discourage you from no way doing Humble monthly. We get a small kick for you signing up for Humble monthly, but then you get all the things after that.
We get a signing bonus.
I don't want people to think that, oh, I'm just going to keep doing Humble monthly because I'll keep supporting Fluxtaposed. Don't. It doesn't work like that. Don't feel pressured. If for some reason you're joining Humble monthly just because of that, I don't want you to be doing that either. I want you to join Humble monthly because you want to. But just make sure you use our link.
It's a good point to make, though. It is. I wish we got money every week or month.
The last bit of housekeeping we must do.
Yeah.
Patrons, you already know this. Fluxtaposed Radio Volume 2 Space Opera released this past weekend, Sunday. This past Sunday, right? Was it Sunday night or was it Monday? I don't even remember. My days are all confused. It was Monday. Monday it released, yeah? Sunday? I don't know.
Sunday for Patreon folks.
It's out. It's out for all patrons.
Yes.
Space Opera is available for you to listen now. Nearly 55 music of space-themed games about space, all there in OC Remix Glory. It will hit public release on Patreon towards the later end of this week. And then at some point when I get around to it, I will post it into the main podcast feed as well. So patrons, yes, you're going to get a little double dose there, but I think you'll be able to handle it. I think you'll be able to. Maybe you want to listen twice. I like to listen twice, so that's how we do it here in Fluxtaposed land. I'm back.
It's true.
How's it going, man?
I missed you. I missed your musk.
Did you?
I mean,
that's good.
Yes. That's what I'm supposed to say, right? Make you feel better about coming back?
I have to say, I haven't done anything content creation related in like 3 weeks, and it was really nice. At the same time, it's weird. It was weird stepping away from. It was weird being absent from this because it's something when you do it so long and for so long and so reoccurringly, and then to be completely separated from that. And it's nice though to like step back and to be able to go like, I've made this and I can watch and experience the product as a listener. It's kind of a nice thing to step away from and do, because then it's like it feels the same, but I'm not directly involved. I think that the essence of the show is still, the show's been around long enough, which we should say, because I don't know if we I can't remember if you touched on this or not. While last week was episode 250, and you like to celebrate those kind of milestones, episodes 100s, 200s, or a year. But as of February 21st, so just 5 days ago, if you want to go back, you can listen. 5 years ago, the 21st, we released episode 1 of Fluxtaposed. So this podcast has survived 5 years. That's insane to me that we've been doing this long. I was 30. I was ripe young age of 30 when we started this here show, and I mean,
living in a shitty apartment, no dogs, no kids. Now look at us, no money.
I know. I mean, we're not like the mega dads that got to dedicate the whole month to the celebration of 5 years. We just mentioned in passing. That's no big deal. 5 years.
We're cool like that. We're effortlessly cool.
Some podcasts can't make it a month. We did 5 years. No big deal. I mean,
we're practically married at this point, you and I.
I mean,
aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, kind of. I mean, we did live together. I mean,
it's true. And we laid together as man and man that one time.
It's also true.
I was going to say.
It was in a camper, so it doesn't count.
That's true. That's true.
It's like, was it a conjugal camper? I don't.
Smelled like it.
I don't know. Anyway, so congratulations to us, 5 years. I think that's a great thing. And before we get on to IRL, I do have to mention, and I want to have to say thank you. Special thanks to Kevin Austin and Josh Barboni for stepping in, co-hosting the show with Lucas. Kevin, I feel like Kevin's like what's happening. Anytime one of us is gone, Kevin's always like that guy that is like always just
he's second string quarterback. You know what I mean? He comes in. He's relief pitcher.
He's got the clipboard. He's got the clipboard and the headset. He's ready to go at all times. And he just, he's been around here enough times. He knows how to, and he can fit in pretty seamlessly. And it was kind of funny that you had Josh on, because I was thinking one of these times we should have Josh on the show, because Josh is a podcaster. He's done stuff for a while. He supported the show for a long while, very graciously. And it's like, he deserves to be on the show. And then you were one step ahead of me. You had him on the show. And not only did you have him on the show, he pushed his own show he's like, get out of here, bored with video games. I'm recording Fluxtaposed night. Kicked his own show to the curb.
It's true.
And recorded on Fluxtaposed.
It's true.
I have to say, special thanks to those guys for stepping in and filling in for me during my time away.
So it was great fun.
Thank you, gentlemen.
It was a lot of fun, but now we have to get back to work, you guys. So let's reel it in a little bit. Too much fun was had.
Time to show some skin, get some bits. You know the game. Let's go.
God, that's right.
So I have a bit of IRL. I haven't been here in a while. So Lucas, please, let's start the show off. For people uninitiated, IRL, we like to give you a little slice of our lives. Welcome you to the fold, the Fluxta family. Join us in this journey of life. We are the Hangout Podcast, and I hope you enjoy the ride. Lucas is seductively removing his sweatshirt. And I see item 1 on your list here, fix car.
Yes, I did this action.
Oh, hi, Mark. What?
I pressed.
What?
I walked up to my car with a wrench in my hand, and then I held E and went until it was fixed.
Repaired itself.
Yeah.
Was there a progress bar that?
Yeah, there was.
Along the way? And
I accidentally let go of the button, so I had to start over. But, that happens.
Classic
sometimes.
Rookie mistake.
I know. So we had one of them squeaky belts you get every once in a while, especially when it gets cold. and we lived with it for like way too long, and I think our neighbors hated us for how long we were just kind of let it go, or I let it go. And so I took it to
What does this belt drive?
the car. It's a belt-driven car. You got to wind it up first. It's just the main serpentine belt.
Oh,
Does everything.
the thing that every time you go to the right oil change place, like, that serpentine belt of yours is getting bad. We can fix that for you. No, but it'll be $250.
That's right, and that's just for labor. Yeah, that's right. So I took it to. We had to go to a kid's birthday party, which plays into my next story, and took it to my father-in-law's. Parked it in his garage, if you know what I'm saying. And because all I needed, I knew exactly what to do. I said, listen, my wife. I said, I know exactly what to do, but the problem is with the way the weather's been lately. When it was warm out, there was a huge lake in the middle of our driveway, so I couldn't do it. All I needed was a nice dry place to get under that car, stick my hands up underneath it, and just feel around a little bit and tighten some stuff.
Get up in there.
So all I had to do was loosen one nut on the front of the pulley.
Oh yeah, I bet you did.
I did, and then I had to tighten a bolt that moved the pulley. So tighten her right up, and then tighten that bolt right back there, or the nut right back down, and boom, no more squeaking. Simple as that. I'm at the point now, stuff like that doesn't even bother me. Takes me 1 minute.
Man, you don't even have to. You're like, I don't even have to go on YouTube anymore. I just know.
That's right. That is right.
I don't have to go to Harbor Freight anymore either. I've got all the tools.
It's true. At least the ones for that type of thing. It's funny actually. I've only ever had import cars, Nissans specifically. So anytime I work on a car, and if I go to my father-in-law's, they only have standard American sizes. So metric is super simple. It's just 9mm or 11mm or 15. It's not this complicated half, quarter inch, 8/16, 3/52. I'm just like, I don't know, whatever. I literally had to tell him whatever about a 10mm would be in standard, because that's like all he has. And so, and it ended up, I forgot. I was like, wait, this wouldn't even be in standard anyways, but I just happened to grab the American set that I had, or the standard set. So it still worked. It's close enough. Wasn't doing anything serious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The other thing is, so we went to this kid's birthday
I've
party.
seen it.
You did. You got to join the Discord if you want to see a picture of this thing. So I go in and I use the bathroom, and we had been there for about 2 or 3 hours by now. And we had eaten already, so I was ready to drop a load. So I go into the bathroom and I do my business, and I turn over to where the sink is, and there's this hamper, and on top of this hamper is this doll that is basically a Barbie head, but it has hands. And for you video watchers right now, the hands are like this because you can do the nails on the hands, but they're positioned in such a way that it just looks like somebody's been, I don't know, like their head and their hands have been put in stocks or whatever. Like you're just kind of stuck and being punished inside this hot box or whatever. So I look over and it's got this wig on, so it looks very. It
was right at your crotch level too. How convenient for you.
You're absolutely right. I didn't want to bring that up, but I was thinking it. It was very Wild Bill-esque from...
oh, my God. Yeah, it was. Very disheveled hair and just...
I want you guys to meet my girlfriend. She loves me. She gets me more than anybody else. Ever will.
I do the tuck and twirl.
We did it together. The tuck and twirl? That's impressive. Wow. So, yeah, creepy doll. It's my girlfriend now. I'll send you a picture. That's all I got. That was my.
I like that. I like that voice there.
Frank Carroll.
Can you just?
Hey everybody! It kind of gets better as it goes. It's like a fine wine.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I picked a good time to be absent from the show because the first week was, what it was, but like Saturday night last week through pretty much. He was sick. Let's see, from Saturday pretty much through last week. Aiden was sick. Like
Oh.
Saturday morning, we're like, my wife was kind of like, I think he's got a sneeze, got some snot. He better not be getting sick. And it turned off. All of a sudden, we put him down to bed, and then he woke up like it was like 8 o'clock. You know, we put him to bed at 7. 8 o'clock, he woke up. He had the croup cough, and we're like, croup's like that thing where it's like, I mean, you can treat it at home, but at the same time, it's like I'm not gonna sit here and let him cough all night long. So we get him up, throw him in the car, and we drive him down to the ER so we can get a steroid. And it's so funny because he was great at the hospital, but yeah, he watched a bit of Cars, which he loved. But then we get him home and he's like, he hates it. He only wants to watch the same like 2 things on Netflix, and it's just like,
yep. Oh yeah.
But yeah, he had croup and then had some sort of virus after that too. So just like, I've never wiped so much snot. It's just, how does a little body create so much snot? And I'm only doing it, for the hours I'm home. That's not even counting how much Jessica. So I can't imagine how much snot he's creating. Of course, so she gets sick too. So they're both sick. He was sick all week. He was never sleeping right. He would wake up coughing. He would sleep through his coughing all right, but he was like constantly waking up early. And then I don't know if it was because, I had finalized stuff with the office move and everything I was doing there. And then worrying about him being sick and just the dog. I hadn't slept I haven't slept normal, and I think it feels like a week and a half. Like I'll go to bed fine, I fall right asleep because I've been going to bed with my wife at the same time. I've been getting more sleep because I'm not staying up playing games, I'm not doing podcasts. I'm kind of reset my whole life cycle a bit, and I go to bed, and then I wake up inexplicably anywhere from between midnight and 4 a.m. and then I don't fall back asleep.
That's like my nightmare.
And it's been this constant circle. Usually it's about 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. I'll just wake up and then I can't fall back asleep. So sometimes I get up and I'm like, I'll get up and I'll play a couple rounds of Smash Brothers and then I'll make breakfast. But it's terrible because you're tired all the time and it's just annoying. And I don't know. So every day I try to put positive vibes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sleep through the night to my alarm. And I know a lot of people, this isn't uncommon. A lot of people struggle with this, but I typically sleep pretty well. So now when I don't, it's just like, I don't know what to do. This is the worst thing ever, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Like last night, the dog woke me up. I was up at we were dog sitting for my in-laws when he was sick too, so that's always creates chaos in the house too. But so last night I woke up at midnight. Asher jumps down and goes out, starts eating and drinking at midnight. I'm like, what the hell? And then I let him outside. Then I think I woke up at 2. Pretty sure I woke up at 4, and then I was up at 5. So I was like, when you do sleep, I don't even know what quality sleep you're even getting. Backtracking to Aiden being sick. Now I think the whole pediatrics rule is at the age of 2. He's close enough that we've introduced this. I mean, he's going to be 2 in less than a month. He is now sleeping with a lovey, a stuffed animal. So, Tom Servo, I thought of you when I was talking about the sleep problems because I know you've had some real struggles yourself that you shared. So I did think of that. Aiden now sleeps with his teddy bear, and it's the most adorable thing, and he loves it. And
that's nice.
Oh, because a couple times we'd go to put him down, and he just wouldn't he was upset and then we're like, "Do you want to sleep with Raj?" That's what we call his teddy bear. He's like, "Yeah," and now he snuggles that thing. But because the one night he woke up during this illness, he woke up and he was sick and coughing, and he was just restless. So Jess is like, "I'm going to get him up and help him," and it was horrible because after she got him up, we couldn't get him to go back down, and it was we were up from midnight till 2 before we can get him.
Well, no, I'm up. I'm up now. I can't go back
he's
to
just
sleep.
He's just wide awake. He's like, let's go.
He's as bad as you are with the sleep.
Yeah. So now we've introduced. Now he has a stuffed animal, so he loves it. I mean, we always try to keep an eye on it, make sure it's not near his face. But because that's all the whole reason behind that delay is, by 2 years old, they have the awareness enough that if they were having an issue breathing, they would move their face away from the object that is interfering with that. So that is that. I fell down the stairs yesterday or Sunday, so that was fun. I had a sore back anyway. I think I had overdone it at work on Friday, and then I woke up Saturday. I like couldn't even walk barely, and then finally I was sitting in the chair. And you ever do that when you're just sitting in the chair and you turn just right and you feel like a little pop pop? I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'll better now. Well, then Sunday I was putting something down the stairs. I was going down the stairs for whatever reason, and we know how we have a stupid fire extinguisher that's right around the corner. Well, I like hit that, knock it off the staircase, so that goes boom, 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 rolls down the stairs, leaking crap everywhere. And I had caught it though before it fell. I had caught it behind my legs, and then I think it had already fallen down the stairs, and I either had gone to reach for it, and I had these slippers on. So basically, I did this where your foot, here's the stair, and your foot's at the edge, and your foot just goes whoop, and you just slide. And I like immediately caught myself, so I was like on my butt, and I had my hands behind me, but I still went doom, 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 on my butt, like down multiple flights of stairs. Got this huge rug burn. I made this huge sound. And my wife's like, "What are you doing? Just go down there and pick it up." I was like, "I fell down the stairs." She's like, "What?" I was like, "No, I fell down the stairs." Then she felt bad because she's just like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I fell down the stairs." So,
why are you making so much noise?
Oh my gosh! And then before we do the big talk, last thing, because this is a moment, and I got permission, I can share this on the show. You might have encountered this before, but you ever had the moment like it's early-ish in the morning, and you can't like your partner, your significant other, like
wait. When you say early in the morning, do you mean 1 a.m. or 5 a.m.?
I'm gonna say like the 5 a.m.
Okay, so early before waking.
So like,
gotcha.
Yeah, before waking up, and you're like, is this what does this gesture mean? Are you touching me because you're just being caring?
Right.
Are you just want to make sure I'm in there, or does this mean something else?
Are you trying to find
so you're
my
doing
penis?
You're doing that mental checklist, and you're like, you're the guy. You're like, I hope this means something else, but you're like, you temper your expectations. You're just like, no,
can't.
She's just
you're like,
yeah,
can't be. No way. It's.
So later that day, I said something to her about it, and she's like, I said, first of all, I want to talk about this on the show. Is that okay? And then I'm like, I always go this through my head. I'm like, what are you talking about? What is this? What are you doing when you're doing this? And she's like, why else would I ever touch you? So
like serious?
I don't want to have anything. I don't want to have it. Yeah.
Why else?
It was a joke, but I mean,
I know what you mean.
It was a joke, but serious.
A serious joke. Well, yeah, because I mean, I don't know about you, but you gotta kind of prime the pump a little bit. I can't just go, you know. I need to know if it's sexual or if we're.
I have a kid and I have a dog that's usually in the bed, so I can just. If the opportunity's there, I'm gonna take it.
You're like,
there's a little window. I'm gonna use it.
She reaches over and just like lightly touches your shoulder, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm already halfway there, babe. Keep going."
It's like,
it's been so long.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah.
And. So that's all the fun stuff. So everyone who listens to the show already knows I haven't been here the past 2 weeks, and it was the news kind of broke early. Well, actually, it broke early, but if people that I feel like we have crossover here between other content that I create, and you do now as well, between PSVG, and it was kind of mentioned on there that I was going to be taking time away from that, and so everyone didn't know. Yeah, I have stepped back from any involvement in PSVG for the foreseeable future. I don't know if or when I'll pick that back up. But let's face it, I think the writing was on the wall. I think anyone can see that at one point when I was doing Nintendo Shack, this show, and if we ran Nintendo. How do you do 3 podcasts a week, let alone enjoy anything activities for yourself, and then just juggle all of that between your home life, your work life? And clearly I wasn't doing a great job of that because, I would miss episodes all the time. And I think people could tell that there was conflicts there. So I stepped away from If We're on Nintendo for the better of that show. And then I had, this is the talk I always had with my wife, was always like, if this stuff that I'm doing interfered with us or our home lives, I wanted to know, because, this stuff would always take a backseat. And unfortunately for me, I wasn't receptive enough to pick up on things that I should have. And I should have probably stopped a lot of what I was doing a long time prior to this. And I shouldn't have let things get to the point that they did before I didn't have the recognition to pick up on it, but it had to have been directly addressed to me, and more of a conflict came up of it. So
You're saying
yeah,
it had
it
to
was
be
like
it had to be obvious for you and spelled out so that you knew exactly.
yeah, I mean, and let's face it, it was completely a case of me not having my priorities in place, and I think a lot of the time I was too focused. It wasn't so much that I was focused on doing stuff like this, but it was because I was so caught up in doing things like this, I didn't have time for myself anymore. So any opportunity I would have to be doing something, I would take it instead of spending the right quality time or doing other things that matter more. If that makes sense.
Well, I oftentimes will ask my wife. I'll say, "Is it cool if I go downstairs?" And she'll like, even on days where I know she's going right to bed, because she'll be like, "Yeah, that's fine." Or she'll come downstairs and I'll still be sitting on the chair, and she'll be like, "Why are you still up here?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't, because I kind of see where you're coming from, because I don't like to run downstairs immediately, but sometimes I will."
Well,
And
that's kind of what I was doing more and more often. And more times, Jess will always be going to bed by herself, and so I think it was really creating a situation where, she was feeling isolated and feeling alone, and that's on me, and and I was too so wrapped up in other things that I wasn't able to focus on what was important. So,
plus your job was picking up
my
at
job.
that time.
I've been really stressed with work too, and I think so. I've made at that point, it's like I have to say, immediately just stepping away from PSVG, I feel so much more open, because not that show is very demanding, or that being involved in that, but it was just like I felt like I had to be so much more current, because
Yes.
while it always gave me a platform that I always wanted to be able to have a chance to do a dedicated Nintendo podcast and talk about Nintendo and the news and anything Nintendo. But I also felt like I had to always be on top of everything that was going on Nintendo, so I could be informed and have a good opinion on anything that was happening. And while in this show, yeah, we talk about some stuff like that, but for the most part, we can go anywhere. So there's no pressure. And yeah, for the most part, I'm still going to stay current on things, but now it's like I don't have to, if I miss something or I don't watch something, it's not a big deal. Like, anytime there was a direct, or like if there was a direct that's at 5:00, it's like, oh, we got to talk about it tonight. It's like, you guys, I get home at 5.
Yeah.
It's not like I walk in the door. It's like, oh, hey, honey, hey, and then no, hold on, I'm gonna go watch this for 20 minutes.
You walk in and you're already watching it on your phone.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. So that I immediately felt a release just from stepping away from that. And then I wanted to take the proper time to have 2 weeks just completely dedicated to my family, kind of recenter myself, realign with everything. And I mean, are things perfect? No, but are they much better than where I was prior to this? Oh yes. And there's, I'm not saying I have all the answers, and I have a lot of things I need to work on yet too, but it definitely helped me realize like things I had been doing wrong that just weren't apparent. I don't know. It was the right thing to move.
You're saying
the right move to make, and I think
it all seems so obvious now that you've
yeah,
in hindsight.
Yeah, exactly. And I had I've had several people reach out to me, and people. It's not like I don't want to. I'm trying not to make a bigger deal about this than it is, because it's not like I'm coming back and I want a bunch of people. I'm like, oh, Jason's back. This is wonderful. Or oh, we miss you. But it's great when you hear I had some on some other shows and get some people say some nice words, and I've had people many people message me privately and check in with me, and that's I appreciate that. And I'm glad things are where they're at, because otherwise things were, I was in a rough spot for a couple of days there, and I know you and I barely talk, and I know you that's just by design. You've made it pretty clear that you were there if I wanted you to be there, and you weren't going to push
like a good hooker. I'm there if you want me, baby, but I ain't gonna force myself.
Yeah. No, I think that was the exact conversation we had.
I message you. Well, it's tough because we do a lot of our talking through Discord, which is also,
yeah,
it's not like you're just messaging me on text. you or texting me on your phone. It's a whole nother gateway to go into a bunch of chat rooms and click all the notifications, and next thing you know, you've been in Discord for 30 minutes. So as nice as it is to look at it, but I messaged you and I was just like, hey, just so you know, I am here, but you don't, like, I haven't been talking to you because I know you're trying to avoid, take your time or whatever.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
to...
honestly, that was one thing I've done too. I have PSVG completely like muted, so I don't get notifications from Discord anyway unless I'm tagged. But like, I'm very much a person that's like, if I see a little notification, like a little symbol, I have to clear it. So like, if I go open Discord and I see little lights next to channels, I'm like, I need to read the channels and clear all that. So I like to stay current. But that was the first thing I did, is like, I just put PSVG in a server mute, and if I'm caught up at work or I have downtime, I'll hop in and kind of skim through a channel and try to catch and at least say hi. But otherwise, I'm like, that just trying to stay current on that's a part-time job in of itself. There's so much conversation that happens there, and I've done that with a lot of servers I wasn't active in. I just decided that,
you're in a lot more than I am too.
Yeah, I left some, and I've just become more focused. And this all boils back to kind of like a point I always had wondered myself is, how much better this show could be if I was able to give 100% to the show instead of 15% here, 15% there, and it's spread out, like much like I talked about when I was on Johnny Casino's podcast. Oh gosh, why can't I remember? Radio's Lame. We was talking about stretching yourself too thin, and clearly I was. And now it's like, okay, it feels good to have a renewed energy for this show, and I can push this as a passion. And if stars align or things happen and I can do something else, we'll talk about it then. But right now, I'm looking forward to this just being my focus. This doesn't take up all my time. There's a lot of stuff I can do with this, but I have to be flexible for things that count. And I don't like to let other people down, and I'm pretty loyal, so it's really hard for me to just like, apparently I'm okay with destroying my own personal life than and that's a horrible thing. Things should not be that way,
It's because you get comfortable. It's kind of like, I've jokingly said that I'm nicer to strangers than I am to people that I know, like my friends and family, but it's just because you get comfortable around your friends and family, so it's easier to let yourself go and just be like, they have to love me.
You can be a slave to the content. I think that's the thing too. And you get, and that was the thing. And now it's like, I can have hobbies again, because now I actually, oh my gosh, there's 7 days in a week. I'm only doing one, making a podcast right now. There's probably a good chance in those other 6 days, there might be a chance where my wife has something else she wants to do, or there's for time it frees up. I was like, oh, I could actually play a game or two instead of, I was staying up and playing Smash Bros until midnight a lot because I was just filling in the gaps whenever I could. So I think this is much better for me from a whole mental health perspective, and I think it's the best thing overall. So so that's where I've been the past 2 weeks. I've been I guess getting my priorities back where they should be, and I think I've retreaded enough territory on this. I think that's all I need to say.
That's all I want to say about that.
If you want the details, slide into my DM. No, not really.
Oh, but, God. Never say slide into my DM again.
Feels good. It feels good to come back here on this side of things. And I think that's really all we need to say. That's going to cover, I think, the first half of the show pretty well. We've got a lot of good IRL talk, and of course, Whatchuplayin talk, and of course, around the web that we want to get to and allow time for. And as we always say, if it's a shorter show, so be it, because sometimes we welcome a shorter show, and we certainly don't want to repeat the Josh Bourboni
experience
marathon.
I was going to say, after an hour and 45 minutes or hour and 50 with Kevin, and then Josh was 2 hours. We had a good time, but you can't have them all be 2 hours. I complain some movies are too long and they're 2 hours long. So
it always happens. I do have to say, because I know you kind of mentioned it, and I don't know if you mentioned it the first time and appeared on an episode. Have you advertised the Fluxtaposed watch-alongs too much because I don't know when you birthed this idea, but I think it's just lovely.
Well, basically what happened was I think Tom and I I watched what did I watch? Manos, Hands of Fate. And
yeah,
Tom Servo was in the chat.
Finally.
I was like, yeah, as I said, finally watching this. And Tom's like, whoa, pause it and I'll watch it with you. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. You know, we're just in the same Discord room. We're not even on voice chat or anything, which is kind of nice because I know it's weird because Xbox always had that feature where you could watch Netflix with friends and stuff like that. But when you're on voice chat, it makes it kind of hard to really pay attention to either one of those things. So he was like, well, I'll watch it with you. I was like, okay, cool. So we watched it together and we just basically did what Riff Tracks does and make jokes and reiterate the lines we thought were hilarious and just reacted to things live and watched Manos Hands of Fate together. And so then I was like, that's really fun. We should do this again. What movie should we watch? And Tom said, you need to watch Miami Connection. And I said, yes, I absolutely do. Because
was that the first time you've watched it?
What, Manos or Miami?
No, Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Yeah.
See, I always thought you had seen that before. So when I learned that was your first time, because I haven't watched it yet either. I'm just well versed in the lore and the awe of it.
Yeah, because we played the song on here.
I thought for sure you had seen it already.
I was invited to go watch it, not the Riff Tracks version. That's the important thing. We watched the Riff Tracks stuff because it's just fun. It's more fun than trying to do that with just the actual movie. But they were watching the actual movie at this invitation, and you're
not cool enough to go to a Chad party.
No, I get invited, but
I'm young enough to stay up that late on a school night.
I have a family. I have a kid. I can't do this. So.
I thought Chad was moving.
Yeah, we don't talk about that anymore. I don't know what's going on there. You might
Let's
as well.
Face it, I don't have time for Battle of Beer anyway.
Yeah,
we can't even film an AMA on a Saturday, let alone Battle of Beer.
Hey, that's gonna come sooner or later. That's what she said.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yes, we're gonna have another Fluxtaposed watch party. What's our next film coming up? Samurai Cop.
Samurai Cop. Yes, continuing the awesome hairdo trends. Got a good mullet going on in both of these films. You were talking about the 4th doing that, right? The 4th of March. 4th or the.
Because
4th.
I have a proposition for you. If you push it another week to the week of the 11th, I have a lot of availability. The Sunday, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, so I can watch it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
We watched Miami Connection, I think, last Monday, the 18th.
Yeah.
So I was just excited to do it again. So I'm completely fine with pushing it one more week. I have no.
Yeah, I just want to be able to join in for sure, and I know that I won't have any conflicts, so I really want to do it. Do it. We have to, I know Tom Servo mentioned it in Discord about pushing the date. They're scheduling it out once it releases. Mac and Me.
Yes.
The Riff Tracks version. So
another movie I haven't seen, but know way more than I should about it.
Oh, I've only seen it when I was a kid, so it should be very horrible. And of course, I'm sure you're familiar with the Paul Rudd's Conan prank.
Yes, I love that. That's the best.
The same clip he always loves to show. So that's going to do it for the first half of the show. I think it's time for an Overclocked Remix break. And what better time to feature a track from the newly released Fluxtaposed Radio Volume 2 Space Opera than right now.
Yeah.
So for as little as $1 a month, you can sign up at patreon.com/Fluxtaposed, get you the early access to Fluxtaposed Radio, which is a curated compilation that Lucas and I painstakingly go through. We get a theme voted by you, listeners. We'll throw 3 ideas out there. You give us a theme, and then we build a playlist around that theme. We give you a little information on each song, and we compile it and send it out to you. I know we play OC Remix all the time on episodes, but this is a little different. I think it's a different experience when you get just all of that, and you don't have and you can just immerse yourself and listen to that. And I don't know if everyone's like me. I listen to I don't listen to a whole lot of music anymore these days, like actual music. I listen to a podcast until my queue is empty during the week, and then I'll usually throw on like Spotify Discover Weekly. But a lot of time when I'm got nothing else to do, I do just throw on OC Remix streams. So I listen to a lot of gaming music, and I don't know if other people like that too. But I mean, so I'm it's what I enjoy. So I'm just happy that we've been able to spread this with people, and for the most part, I think people have been pretty receptive to it. I know Callow seems to enjoy it, and Callow's very vocal about things, especially on social media. So I'm just riding the wave of his positivity, and other people might be like, God, these guys and their overclock remix again.
Just give it a chance. Give it a chance, man.
I like it. So
it is funny when you start curating. So we had about 21 songs in as possibilities. We could have done a lot more, but I was like, okay, that's enough.
I feel like I'm just going to bring you as many options as I can, because that way we can like pare it down.
Yeah, well, and it helps because what I was getting at was, it's funny how there's clearly there's different levels of how good some of these remixes are, and when you start putting them back to back like that, there are some that fall below that bar. They're still okay, but when you get a fully good sounding chiptune song, for instance, and then you put that up against a live recorded real live performed song that's not recorded well, for instance, or something like that, you're just kind of like, yeah, that doesn't really vibe. So it's just weird, because normally if I hear those songs separately from one another, I wouldn't think of it that way. Like if we just played it randomly on OC Remix. But then there is like a quality bar that they need to meet. It's not just us randomly picking stuff. And also, we could easily go way too heavy on the heavy metal or something like that. Whereas
there are a few metal mixes that pop up this time.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that though.
You brought that Star Fox funky fresh one. You had two of them, but one was a medley, and I try not to do too many medleys or anything over 5 minutes because it feels a little long. But I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I know you are. You pick out a lot of the songs, so it's fun. I like doing it. It's cool. Oh, and also before I forget, anybody who does listen, or if you listen when it becomes available to everybody, let us know what you think of the two different ways that we've done it. So you'll notice this new one with Space Opera, we've done a little bit less talking, tried to play songs back to back a little bit more, left out the information. We didn't make it so information heavy. So let us know what you think of that.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Well, Lucas, what song are we featuring tonight?
It's called Full Paragon. It comes from Mass Effect. I jokingly said when this won that we weren't going to get songs from Mass Effect, so this was going to be difficult. But there was a few on there, and this is from Psycho Crusher. So it's a really
Crusher.
I was not expecting this song to be the style that it is, but it is really awesome.
It's a good one.
So.
All right, well, we are going to play this remix from Fluxtaposed Radio Volume 2. We're going to come back, do some What You Play, and do some Around the Web and end the show, so stick around for that. But until then, please enjoy. You can find this remix and many more. LCRemix.org. Can't forget. Almost did. I'm going to play the song now.
It's good stuff.
There you go. I got all progged out, you know.
Yeah, with the drums, when the drums kick in, it's a little bit Tool-esque. Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little.
I would agree.
Just a touch.
I'd agree with that. I'll have to say I didn't mention it earlier, but I put a solid state drive in my yeah, don't get on with your time signatures and your music theory. I just anytime you get like that one guitar sound, it just reminds me of prog rock a bit. I installed a solid state drive in my work PC today, and it was amazing. Yeah.
The solid state? You don't have one?
Yeah.
Or it's just better on this computer?
Well, not at work. I didn't. I have one here at home, but at work.
So you knew
the
benefits.
So, yeah, but here's the thing: I did a much better process than I've done in the past. I bought a 500. I got the same, like probably a newer version of the hard drive I have here at home, but 500 gigs versus the 250 that I have. And then I did a backup, did everything, but then I actually cloned the hard drive, which I'd never done before. So I did a clone. So I completely cloned my hard drive, swapped them, and then formatted my standard. So now I have Windows on the solid state. But it's funny because we have these Dell, we get these Dell small form factor cheap PCs refurbished, and there's not enough room for an expanded drive. The case is so small and tight, everything's compacted. Like the hard drive and the CD-ROM drive sit over top where the RAM is, and so you wouldn't have room to actually. At first, I was like, do I just like stick it in there and just hope it's not going to flop around? Just leave it loose in the case. But then I found on on Amazon, I did some YouTube research. You can actually buy. It's basically a mount that you pull out the CD-ROM drive, and you stick this in here, and it looks just like the CD-ROM drive, but it's got a spot hollowed out and a little docking station where you can slide the SSD in and wire it up, and it has the front cover. You put your cover on it, so it looks just like your CD-ROM drive, but now it's fake, but it's just the whole mount for the solid state.
Nice.
So there you have it. And it works good, except for whatever reason, I could not get it to boot to that. Like if I'd go into the BIOS and set it as the first device, it would still boot to the legacy device. And even once I went in there and I removed the legacy hard drive from the boot option, so it could only boot from the new Samsung drive, and it would still not boot from it. So I had to actually go in and actually select it as a boot device from the startup options. Boo. And then I'm assuming after I formatted that hard drive, it's no longer be able to think it's a boot device. But because it would take my PC one time, after I did a Windows update, it took it 20 minutes once the desktop actually appeared before I could do anything.
Jeez.
Because it just took it that long to like load up the startup programs and everything else. It was really annoying. So great improvement. I should have done it sooner because it's like lightning fast now. Love it. It'd be so much more powerful. So guys, as promised, it's time for a second giveaway of the month before we get into what you plan.
Yeah.
And moving forward, we'll actually have like a sign up or a way for you guys that don't listen live or can't jump in right away to actually enter. So, but that's not going to be it this month. So all patrons are entered, and because you guys are in the chat and said hello, Mr. Rybo and Mr. Dude 247, you guys are entered as well. And patrons, you're actually going to get your bonus entries. I'm not going to jip you this time, as I promised. And our prize tonight is $25. It's $25 credit to fangamer.com, which has a myriad of merchandise, both clothing, physical. They have music. They have a lot of cool stuff on there.
Yeah,
so
they have
vinyl.
I was like, I would buy the Shovel Knight
vinyls, plushies, T-shirts, a lot of stuff. And I tell you what, I've had my eyes on this Hyperlight Drifter figure there for a long time. And by the time I finally buy it, it's probably gonna be out of stock.
Hyperlight figure? Is that in figures? Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, they've got Night in the Woods stuff. I'm streaming this for video, by the way. Whoa, they have Dark Souls stuff that looks really cool. Only $30? How big are those? Like mini figures? Like a miniature?
They're probably like super tiny.
Let's find out.
There's the Drifter right there.
3.5 inches tall. So about the size of my penis. Everybody saw it coming. That's taller than I assumed, because a mini, like a tabletop miniature would be, I don't know, like 1.5 inches, maybe 1 inch. No, maybe 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, that all to say you could win this crap and buy it. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Here's the real question. How many times am I pressing that button, baby?
Ooh. I'm going to pick. We've always let the chat pick.
Okay.
I'm going to pick tonight.
Okay. 1 to 10.
What did we do last time? What did we do last time? It was like 6, wasn't it? Or
No,
5?
it was 2 or 3 because I think it was 3 because we had Nathan come up twice, and I have rectified that problem.
That's okay, because I say the past couple times we've had the winner come up twice, and then it makes it really
seem really effed up and weird.
Yeah. I'm typing you a secret message.
Okay, I was wondering what you were. That's what I was asking you about.
Well, because I asked you, I don't know where you.
It's on it came from the list.
He's in there, but if you look there, his payment hasn't processed.
Oh,
in like
well,
3 months.
sorry, secret person. That
we had a secret chat because what our current patrons list was, and yeah. So
apparently, it'll list you even if you're.
It'll list, it'll list past, present, future. Scroll through that again.
Okay, let's see
just
all
so I can
these.
see.
I'll go slower here from the top. Boom, 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 boom,
Give me.
boom, boom. That's the end.
Looking good. Okay, that looks good.
You got the official
That looks
approval,
good.
which we need because we often screw things up. All right.
Yeah, we do. Let's go with 9.
Oh
9
my
times.
gosh, I'm gonna lose.
I'm gonna make you push this button 9 times.
All right. Well, the first one's gonna be. We'll get to find out if you actually get to see the name. Number 1, Tom Servo, and a beautiful message about supporting them. Number 2, Kevin Austin. Oh my God, every single time. 3.
There's a sweet ad blocker.
Siri. 4, Callow. Well, at least we know we're not coming up multiple times. 5, Tyler Rowland. 6, Nathan Thomas. 7, Nathan Thomas. See, there it is. 8, Dan Anthony. And the big winner.
I'm only watching on stream, so I don't know. I can't see.
For that chicken dinner.
I'm waiting for the stream.
Oh, my God. I'm letting him wait for the stream.
Oh, no. That son of a bitch.
Did it again.
Adam Leonard, you are the winner, my friend.
Here, we'll do what we did about the last person who won. Probably doesn't even listen to the show anymore.
This will be Adam's second time he's won. He got $20 in PlayStation credit for us way back in the day.
See, it's lucrative if you listen to us. For some of you people.
I mean, for somebody, if the odds are in your favor, you actually make money listening to this podcast.
Make money.
Hey! So congratulations, Adam, and congratulations to Megadads also hitting the 5-year podcast mark this month. So congratulations. We will be in touch to give you your credit to fangamer.com. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, our patrons totally get it rigged. They had a lot of odds in their favor. So that's why you should check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed and increase your odds as little as $1 a month. Gets you an extra entry in every monthly giveaway. Wow. So there. Now that we've done that, we'll actually have an enter button next month to get all you listeners involved. Let's do some What You Playing.
Ooh, it's so good. Talk about a soundtrack on vinyl.
I just love how at the end how he just goes. Really, really. A lot of intonation there.
It really
just goes.
Rustles your jimmies.
Lucas, I'm going to go lightning round here because I think we'll talk about Moonlighter a bit as that's your feature topic. So Tetris 99, you guys have talked about it, but I hadn't, that the Nintendo Direct came out and then I hadn't downloaded any of these demos. And Tetris 99, I love it. I've always liked Tetris. Tetris 99 has made me a better Tetris player because a lot of times when I've played Tetris, I would just build and just do stack and do my things. But now it's like I actually think about where I'm placing items, like where I'm placing specific blocks to leave room on one side or the other for giving me more combinations of other blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually actively doing that. I haven't won. I've made it to top 5 twice now. That's my best. But I think it's an awesome concept. I think it's a cool way to take something that's popular right now and then take it something that's an old tried and true game and make it feel fresh and new with that
Are you
whole
saying take
battle
something old,
royale.
give it a little spinaroo, make it new?
Now it's brand new and it's free. I think this is the type of things that they need to continue to bring to the service occasionally to kind of spice it up and make people feel like there's a value here besides just having multiplayer game access.
Yeah, especially since they're not going to bring us any NES games. I'm never going to let that go, just so everybody knows.
So I really have enjoyed my time with Tetris 99. I played the Yoshi demo. It's Yoshi, not my thing. And then I haven't really I played like the first mission of Daemon X Machina or whatever the hell it is, and
Yeah.
I started playing the second mission, but I was playing tabletop, and I really want to play it docked, so I'll probably just play it all docked. But I will say this: I've seen a lot of people with varying opinions. I've enjoyed it. I think I like mech games though, so I mean, Hawken was a game I played a ton because it was mechs. That was the only reason. So that's the selling point for me, is I just enjoy mech stuff.
I liked it a lot better after I docked it and then took the time to actually look at the systems going on, because you can do a lot of customization and stuff. So once I knew that, I was like, oh, this is way cooler.
Right. I also want to bring it up this point because this is also a hot topic for people that go back and forth on and bitch about. I don't even know what Anthem looks like running. So everyone's like, Anthem's terrible. Oh, Anthem's great. I don't even know what that game looks like. I've yet to see. I've never watched. I saw that initial like trailer a little bit, but I've never watched any gameplay. I'd never played any of the stuff. So I'm so oblivious to this game, and every people are like, "This is I'm mad about this. This review sucks. Why are you mad about?"
How
I have
can
no
you
idea.
even
I have no
review a game that doesn't have an end?
All I know is it blows up my Twitter all the time. I have no idea what's going on.
People are up in arms about it. I watched the
it's a game.
I watched the Jim Pressions video of it, and that's about the only time I actually saw any gameplay since the reveal. And spoiler, he didn't really like the game that much. And
There's a shock.
To me, if it's a BioWare game, I want some story, brah. And it sounds like it's
that's what they should do best. You would think. I couldn't find my GBA because after the Link's Awakening got announced, I kind of want to go back and play it because I've played through that game, but I was like 13, so I kind of want to go back to it. And I could have swore I kept my Game Boy Color. I can't find it. So
what color?
I had Atomic Purple, baby.
Yeah, of course, you have to.
The see-through. And I bought it on the eShop for 3DS Virtual Console. It's like $6, so I started playing that today. Link's Awakening. I forgot how much I like that game. Like the music's so great, the game's fun. I'm on the 3rd dungeon already.
I don't know why you would buy that when they're just gonna come out with it soon, and you're just gonna buy it again. Ain't gonna be $6 though.
I don't know. Sure. I want to go back. I want to go back to it. And plus, let's face it, playing it on the 3DS, you get the better screen, you get save states. I'm pretty sure the screen size is even a little bit bigger. That was the right call to make versus playing it on the original hardware. Definitely the right call. And that was really it, game wise. And then we started watching Umbrella Academy.
I want to see this. People have been talking about it.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Jess and I have been watching it. I think she liked it at first. Now she's kind of soured on a little bit just because like some of the acting and some of the story. But for me, it's like if you combined X-Men and Watchmen a little bit, because it's these kids that were essentially superheroes, but now they're adults and they're screwed up and they have problems, and it's like the world's going to end in so many days type of thing. So you can see how I'm bringing those two different elements to it, but I've liked it so far. I mean, it's decent,
Nice. Okay, as long as it's decent, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. I think I've only watched like 4 episodes though. I'm not sure how many there are, so I can't tell you how far we've got to go. I know you don't. And then we watched "Won't You Be My Neighbor," the Fred Rogers documentary the other night. That's on HBO.
Says?
It's very good. It's so good. I mean, that man. What can you say bad about him? And what I like though is like how kind of, I don't know if I want to say revolutionary, but how different thinking he was about children and education. And then there's this whole debate too, like it's because he's the problem why we have millennials that are entitled and think, because they were always told they were special and they should just be stuff handed to. But I grew up watching Mr. Rogers too, and that didn't affect me like that. So I think that's just a terrible like political argument that people will make about
We
stuff.
just like to point fingers. That's what we all have in common.
That's true. No, that's 100% true. It's really good. You should watch it. And the thing that we going to feature, I also had played Moonlighter, but Lucas is that's his featured topic, so I'm going to save that for his discussion because he's played a lot more of it than I. Paddleton. This was originally I got that email. Netflix always sends you out the email. New movie recommended for you. And this is one of them. And I read this. Exactly. I read the synopsis on that. And I was like, this doesn't sound good at all. But then it was like a Friday night, and we're like, oh, are we going to watch? And now Netflix like, boom, here's a trailer. As soon as you hover over on anything for more than a second,
and you're just like, oh my god, the volume's up way too loud.
Yeah. But the trailer made it sound really, really good. And it's a oh gosh, why can't I think of it? Who made Creep? The two brothers.
Duplass, Mark Duplass.
Yeah, it's a Duplass brothers film. Mark stars in it.
Oh yeah,
along with Ray Romano.
Oh yeah. I saw a little. They're in a hospital room or something at a doctor's office.
Yeah. So like, Mark Duplass's character has been diagnosed with a terminal disease. So really, it's a story about bromance, their friendship, and like coming to terms with like the end of what it's gonna be, because Mark, the whole premise is Mark Duplass's character has decided that he doesn't want to live throughout as this disease destroys his body. He's going to decide to end it on his terms when he's ready, and he wants Ray Romano's character to be there with him to help him through it. So it's like this whole journey they take through that, and you'll get some feels from it, definitely as well. I think I've liked every Duplass brothers thing I've watched. I mean, we've had Safety Not Guaranteed. Was that one of theirs as well?
I think it was. I don't know if it was both of
them.
Creep
was a Netflix station. I haven't watched Creep 2 yet, but it's really good, and I recommend it. I really liked it. It's a little tearjerker a bit, but it has there's a good message there too, and it's about living with that journey towards death, but also like their friendship too, and it's I don't know what I think. I think Ray Romano's a better actor than what he gets credit for.
What
I think, especially in this role, because he kind of plays a guy that has some sort of social issues, I guess I'd say, in terms of his social relationships. So I think you get to see a little bit more of him. And have you watched The Big Sick?
Yes,
I mean, you kind of see, that's more of a more serious role from him too. And I think I was like, wow, he's a really good actor. So I think I would recommend it. Paddleton is good.
They've actually done quite a few movies we would recognize, including Jeff Who Lives at Home, Safety Not Guaranteed, Bad Milo, which was a Netflix station.
That was a Netflix station.
Tangerine, which was a Netflix station.
They were in that one too.
Did
they produce it?
Produce it, maybe. They weren't in it. They did a couple of other ones though, not that I haven't heard of, like Duck Butter apparently, and Outside In, Take Me. So yeah, it must be stuff they've produced under their name as well, because some of these are listed. There's like 2 movies in a year or 3 movies, so that would be pretty tough, I would think.
Yeah. But it's good. You should watch it. And like before Lucas goes on but you talking about Moonlighter, I was like, okay, I need to get back into this game.
Yeah.
And I got frustrated because I made it to the second dungeon, and I felt like I was stuck there because I was just getting destroyed. And then I finally this game, I don't know, like the loop is very rewarding, and you feel good about going through and you get all this loot and you sell it, and you got all this money, but also at the same time, that loop works against you, and you can just easily go into a dungeon and lose everything after you had all this great progress, and then you're just immediately brought down to fuck this, and you want to throw the game, and I force close it and I'm done.
Yep.
You have to get away from it.
I force closed it 3 times, I think.
Because I mean, I had a point where I had no potions. I had literally like less than 5,000 gold, and I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to progress because I can't buy any more potions. No way I'm going to get to this level. And then finally, you just grind it out and you start getting all this loot. So I'm at the point now where I've finished the second dungeon, but I really want to get better equipped before I head into the third dungeon. So I kind of want to get like the tier 3 weapon and at least get tier 2 armor. But I just unlocked the second shop upgrade, so you can do like the custom requests from clients.
Yeah.
And that seems to like pay off a lot because it seems like the rewards are like 15K, 25K. It seems like there's a lot of money.
I think it does
for doing those
when it first is available, but when you get to the tech dungeon, it doesn't seem to be as, especially because they end up asking you for other stuff from other dungeons.
Oh, like
too.
other. Oh,
Yeah.
sure that then.
Not too much because you'll go a couple days where nobody will show up and ask you for anything, but I've noticed you might as well take them because there's no penalty for screwing them up.
For failing, they just don't get it. Did you? Do you have the bank?
No, I actually didn't do the bank until after I beat the game, and then I was like, "Oh, so that's what this is."
Because I'm like, I have the feeling I'm going to try to upgrade everything before I.
That's what I did. You kind of have to be honest with you.
Okay. Because that's like the loop I'm at. It's like I feel like I'm not going to be accomplished if I don't like finish it. You know, I want to get through all that stuff. So
Well,
I will say my major complaints with the game, and I know, like you had said it with Josh, like this is not Zelda. And no, it's definitely not Zelda. It doesn't control nearly as well as Zelda, and I hate how like swinging your sword like stops you completely. You can't like move and swing at the same time. So like sometimes it's really hard to line up hitting an enemy, and the player you're locked to a grid in terms of movement. And I really wish you could like move diagonally.
Yeah, which is weird because you can roll diagonally, but you can't.
You can roll diagonally. Yeah. So it's really hard. Sometimes you think you got an enemy you're going to hit, and then no, you're like, he's like here, and you're hitting straight up or to the right, and it's annoying. You really have to like use the dodge mechanic.
Yeah.
A lot. And that's why you mentioned how you don't ever use shields. That's what I use all the time. Sword and shield's my primary weapon. I don't hardly ever use the shield.
Yeah, that's what I mean too. I never use the shield, but I do use the weapon. Yep.
I have the bow, and I was gonna try a spear, but I'm like,
I
used to use the two-handed.
I was gonna ask you if you had the bow because you absolutely have to have it, basically. Not to progress, but I don't know how you would do the game, like how hard it would be without it.
Those little blob creatures I hate because the timing to hit them when they like charge at you to absorb you. The timing to swing is so hard. It's just much easier to roll away and just shoot arrows until they die.
I did that in the tech dungeon for almost 80% of the time. I didn't engage anything with the sword at all.
Oh, wow. So I want to say this. You've completed the game.
Yeah.
Was there like a sense of accomplishment when you finished it? Or were you like, well, that's it? Because I feel like some of the journey through the dungeons is very meh, but the bosses have been pretty cool. And I don't think when I played this game last, I think they updated it. I don't think there were dungeon bosses in each level. Or at least I just don't remember it. I feel it seems like to me that you could progress through each floor of the dungeon and there wasn't a boss until the end.
Oh, okay. That I didn't play it like that, or I mean it was always
So, but I just can't remember. I'm just remembering because there was a substantial bit of time before when I played this and when I have gone back to it. So maybe I'm just not remembering it right because that's a pretty big game changing difference.
Yeah.
So I think I'm probably just not remembering.
I was gonna say they are the same boss every time with slightly different abilities. Like they get harder and harder.
I hate that tree in the forest dungeon. Oh my god, I hate that tree.
I didn't think it was that bad until I realized it only used the one move on me. I didn't know about the spitting fruit at you or whatever, the globs. Because
really?
I killed it the first time and it only did the tree roll thing. It didn't ever shoot at me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it always does the tree globs first. Always. And yeah, that second form, that blue gooey one it shoots, that'll it almost kill you in one hit.
Did I get a sense of accomplishment? I did after defeating the desert boss. But after that, not particularly. I don't want to tell you why. Kind of, but not really. It's tough because I get it's not like it's Dark Souls or something like that where you go back and fight and then finally you get them. It took me basically it takes me about one time to figure out what their patterns are, and then I know not that I know that I can beat them or not because
Yeah.
okay, I know what to do. It's more like now I know that I need to upgrade my gear more before I take them on. So really, I just wait until I can upgrade all the way to the maximum and then go fight them, the bosses, and they're not really that difficult usually.
Yeah.
But I also had a lot of money, so I could usually afford enough potions and stuff to keep trucking basically. I will tell you though, the ending, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's interesting, but it didn't, from a story perspective, it didn't really, it was just kind of something that happened. It didn't feel like it had a lot of weight to it.
I feel like the story is there's not
a whole lot.
I don't really know. There's like that old guy I've talked to that's given me a bit of backstory, but I don't really know, like, you can find like the journals and stuff throughout the dungeons, but I haven't really paid much attention to them. So it's not like I really know.
It'll come clear. It'll become clear when you finish it. Yeah.
I just did a quick search while you were bringing up those points, and the mini bosses are new. That was patched in, looks like as of this month.
Wonder if people
they released an update called the Friends and Foes update, and that's why like you can have like little pets that follow you around.
Yeah.
Which I didn't remember, and that's why, because that was a new feature too. So
interesting.
Friends and Foes update adds a big new feature: familiars that you can raise on your farm, and a bundle of new mini bosses to tussle with. So that was a change they made to the game. So I was wrong. They did make a big change to this game, and that's why I remember it being a lot easier and coming back to now. Because that F that tree. Oh my god.
Just wait until
what's
you get
the worst
to the
tree.
next boss.
The Evil Dead tree or that tree.
Whoa. Now that's saying something. Just wait until you get to the next boss. You're gonna be really pissed. That's all I'm gonna say. At the desert.
Is it? Oh boy.
It's bad. It's probably the worst boss in the game, as far as how to defeat it. I don't know what I have to add to this. I guess is there were some frustrations that I had with the game, but it does for me have a very satisfying game loop. But again, like you've definitely experienced some negative stuff. I did have a couple of crashes. I opened a chest and it crashed, and I lost half a day. That was weird.
I had an infinite loading screen that I had to just force close out of. That never happened. And I had one time I went came to the dungeon door, and I hit a button too soon, and I basically clipped into what looks like barrels. So I was clipped between these barrels and the wall, and I was able to clip through the wall up into the corner, and then I got stuck. And I couldn't find a way out, and eventually I just like kept sword slashing and rolling, and I eventually clipped my way back out through it.
I didn't have any of those.
It was really weird.
That's scary, because then you're like, well, I might be screwed here.
And I would think, but the biggest appeal I had to this game, because the animation looked good and it looked like Zelda, but I thought the whole shop mechanic was really cool because I hadn't done something like that. But I think this is a good game. I think it's deserving of its price point, and I think it's something that if someone's interested in, I think you should pick it up, because I do think it's deserving of your time. But I think this game suffers from Jason and Fluxtaposed syndrome. It's jack of all, master of none. I think the shop mechanic is nothing more than kind of a fun little diversion, but it doesn't like ever get too in depth or really change that much. Like demand, I thought demand would change a lot more with the items you're selling, and there'd be a little bit more dynamic of an experience, but it's just kind of a ho-hum thing and a way to get more money than just scrapping things.
Once you realize how it works, it never really changes from that formula that much. And it's actually kind of annoying, because towards the end you'll get more and more what they call gentlemen, I think, or gentle people, where they come in and they'll be willing to pay more money for what you have on sale, but because it's a special case, it won't tell you how much it sold for, because it doesn't apply. And if things are in high demand, it won't tell you what it sold for. So when you're trying to figure out a price for something, it gets really frustrating, because people will buy it, but it won't get added to your journals. So you'll see it and be like, was that a good price or a bad price? I don't even know.
Right. And then it's like, how much did I lose because I didn't set this price high enough? Did you ever use the sale boxes?
Not at first. I only used
Because I'm
them
I'm
a
questioning
handful of
what the point of
times.
why I ever want to use those, because it's like, why would I
Really,
want to sell things on a discount?
there really isn't. You never have
Because I
enough
want to make as
inventory
much money as
space.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I only use them when I realized I had some old stuff that I saved from crafting that I never took out of the chest, and by that point I was
Mm.
already like uh, two or dungeons away from that. So I was like,
Uh,
well, this is not going to get me any money anyway.
I feel like the gating on the armor and weapon upgrades is a bit high too. Like the first weapon you get, and then you can upgrade it. Costs like maybe what, somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000. But then the next version, it's like 64,000 gold, and that's just like
I think that one takes the longest. That
it's just
one
like a
and
huge
maybe the
jump.
last one. Yeah, it
And maybe
is.
that's just because where I'm at, but I don't know. It's just
Well, being set back that early is tough.
yeah.
I only got set
Yeah.
back about halfway through, like majorly set back.
Yeah. So I mean that was my problem. I got to that mini boss and I was just getting two-shotted. I couldn't even get past him. And I had less trouble with the final boss than I did with that mini boss. So it felt, but yeah, I had to go through and get some stronger armor, get everything enchanted. I mean, there's just a lot of things to do, and I don't want to sound like I'm sour on the game. I feel like I'm critical a bit on some of the parts of it, but all in all, I still feel positive about the game. I do hope to finish it, but that is disappointing that you're just like, well, now I'm done. I wasn't expecting this big payoff, but
Well, that's another way it's not like Zelda because it was interesting, but it wasn't. I mean, that happens, and then you unlock New Game Plus, but it was kind of.
what does that give you?
I checked it out, and you basically do the same thing over again, but you have a couple of different items that are unlocked, and all the numbers are higher. Basically, all the weapons, even though they're the same, you have to unlock them again, but they do a lot more damage, and it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I like how they lock you into a dungeon. You can't go back out. The only way out is you have to pay gold to portal out, or you can get enough. Once you get the rune, you can pay a larger sum of gold and create a
Yep.
portal that you can return to. I like that.
I almost always use the portal instead of the clock if I had enough money or the pendant.
Oh, if I'm going to try to complete the dungeon, yeah, I definitely use the portal on the third level before the boss, and then just like Hero Shade talked about in our Discord, and I think you talked about too. If you portal out and you come back in, the entire map's revealed for whatever reason.
That
And
was
I'm not
weird.
sure. I'm not sure why that is.
I would often portal out at the beginning of the next level and then come back, and I would know where everything was because it just would work out that way anyway. So,
and since I found the lore book that tells you that like the path that the well is on or the hot spring, that's where the boss is. That because a couple times I wandered into the mid boss, and I didn't want to.
yeah.
And I was like, oh crap! And then I died and lost everything, and then I rage quit, and then you pick up the game a little bit later. So it's I don't know. It's definitely It's definitely can be frustrating at times. The game can definitely anger, but I thought that's awesome you beat it. I mean, you definitely had the pull of the physical rental, so you had a timeline to get through it.
Yeah, and it was starting to wear out its welcome, so I was just it's easy enough to pick up that I'm like, okay, I should just finish it before I start getting tired of because I'm so close. So that was part of it too, because it's so easy to pick up and just play. There's no real super difficult mechanic to it. That
I think one complaint I heard about the game was when it first came out was like the combat is just repetitive.
Yes.
And I would agree with that because there's no real using a different weapon really doesn't feel any different. It just changes the range.
Yep.
And it all just feels very much the same.
Yeah.
Just swing, press the attack button to whatever you're attacking is dead, and then move forward. Versus like Dead Cells where combat feels really
that's very
interesting.
true. I think if they make a second one of this or something similar, they'll just go on to take the experience they put into this game to make something better. I'm interested to see what they do after this now, because I thought this was a good foundation that they could probably build off, but I do think they need to upgrade some of their
They need to rip off
combat.
Zelda a little bit more in the
Yeah.
gameplay. I mean, I hate to say that, but you really need to rip off like Link to the Past or 2D Zelda a little bit more, and how that handles. but and I think they need to expand the the shot mechanic a little bit more. It's kind of like very limited. Like if you combined Harvest Moon with Zelda, this is what you get, sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah, kind of.
You know,
Yeah, I could see that.
but
You're not farming, but only farming
right,
for fat loot. You know what I'm saying, dog?
yeah, yeah. God, no. So, I this was supposed to be your,
That's
when you're focused. I feel like I've guided this conversation, so I don't know if there's anything more you wanted to.
the only other thing I was gonna add that I didn't like was one of the enemies has a awful hitbox, just absolutely terrible. It's a flying enemy that looks like a UFO. Basically, it's in the tech dungeon. Beware. You can only hit the very bottom of its hitbox. It's awful. And it flies in kind of a zigzaggy pattern, so you're constantly.
Oh, great.
Because I was using the bow most of the time, so that's probably why it was giving me such a hard time. But just terrible. Everything else was fine as far as that goes, but that one's hitboxes were awful. As far as the rest of what I was doing, the other game, I actually played this today. I picked back up Resident Evil 2 before I let it go on for too long. I looked up where I had to go. So stupid. I just had to look into. I'm at this part where there's a clock tower, and all I had to do was look in there to find out that the piece I needed. Yeah, the piece I needed was there. So I don't know how I would have known that, except for looking around like a darn fool. So I made progress. I am past the clock tower. I'm actually out of the police station for now and into the sewers.
Ooh, so very cool.
And hopefully about halfway out of there.
I feel like the game really kind of drags. Well, in the original game, the police station really dragged, and once you got out of the police station, the game really felt like it moved a bit more.
I could see that.
And unfortunately, I watched Markiplier's first playthrough as Leon through this, so. Maybe that'll sully my experience whenever I do eventually play it, because I do really want to play this game. But it's funny, like what I remember, what I don't. But I think this next portion will move a lot faster for you. And I just want to bring up a fun fact, Lucas. This is why we don't watch hockey. Red Wings are playing right now.
Yeah.
The score is 7-1.
Holy shite! They've been doing fairly well lately, though. That's crazy. Who are they playing?
They're terrible. Montreal. They're terrible bad. They're so bad.
Ooh.
So I'm interested for, especially since you never played it, because like I own Resident Evil 2 and I played the original missions of Leon and Claire a ton, but I never played their B missions. And if I remember right, on the original Resident Evil 2, you only got Mr. X on the B missions. So I never really dealt, or maybe it was a difficulty setting, but I know I never dealt with him.
Okay.
On the PlayStation, and that's unavoidable because he's very much part of the game in this new, which makes a lot more sense. Like, instead of you shouldn't have things like broken up like that. So
I couldn't imagine that that would make much sense based on what. Well, I guess I don't know what they redid with the story, but he's out of the picture right now, so. I would imagine just having him on the B missions, you just be like, where did this guy come from, or whatever.
Right. He's very much like what he was like very much what a beta for what you'd experience with Nemesis in Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, I could see that. All these
unlike,
I was gonna say, all these big guys are getting confusing to remember.
And unlike the original, you can't just walk through a door and trigger a loading screen and get rid of them.
Yeah,
technology doesn't allow for that anymore.
Yep, you have to run, and you have to hope you know
I will
how
say,
you're going.
It seems frustrating to me though that when you're playing a game like this and you have the ability to aim anywhere, you shouldn't have to shoot a zombie 7 times in the head.
That's my biggest complaint. They are bullet sponges, and they will fall down and act like they're dead very, very often, and to the point where I just take a knife now and chop them. Literally, it takes about 10 times till I know that they're dead.
Because like I know like it's probably part to limit your resources, and I think this game's done a really good way of like keeping your ammo scarce most of the time, so you're really feeling that the weight of this shot, or do I run, or what do I do, and yeah, I get it when you finally get like the Desert Eagle, you should be popping heads left and right. But I really think it's still a handgun. That many shots into a corpse's head should pop it. You know, and that's what it looks like it's going to frustrate me about that game. It just seems like
they take way too many bullets. way too many. I don't know what the deal is there, but
It'd be one thing. Like biggest issue.
Biggest issue in the first. I meant to say that was the first thing I noticed. Actually, was how long it takes to kill them.
I mean, I get it in the original where you couldn't aim for the head; you just aim in their direction and you'd hit them. But this now, I can precisely aim and shoot them in the head. Or like in Resident Evil 4, for example, you could shoot them in the head and then you'd run up and roundhouse kick them. You don't. There's no benefit for a headshot, really. I mean, I assume it's doing more damage, but it doesn't look like it because you still got to shoot them 6 times.
Yeah, that is true. Plus, you start getting. I just started using the Uzi, and you can still headshot with it, but you might as well wait until they get a little bit closer and just spray and pray, because when they get a little bit closer, you end up shooting them everywhere anyway. Almost none of the bullets miss. So it doesn't seem to make much of a damage difference either way.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I mean, I am having fun with it. It's just it's not particularly scary, but it is tense. It's very tense.
Yeah.
There are times when the zombies move quickly, or enemies will show up out of nowhere, or the lickers will come around, and those things are worst enemy.
Refresh my memory. Who are you playing as?
Claire.
I do like that change that the lickers are now blind, and if you don't move, maybe I just don't remember it from the original, but if you don't make any sound, they can't find you, which I do like that change. But it seems like in the original they would just come at you.
Well,
no matter what. But
I just blow their ass up with the grenade launcher. Every time I see them, I shoot. I don't even care. They're too hard to hit. I don't want to waste my ammo, so I just blow them away with acid rounds or whatever.
Sometimes, though, I think they're using a more powerful weapon like that. It's your best asset because you're using less rounds of that ammo to preserve multiple rounds of your weaker.
Yeah. I hope so, because at least you can make that ammo, but you got to find the stuff to do it. So
right.
It is limited. So those are the 2 major games I played. The stuff I watched, I really just want to mention. One is I finally finished Mindhunter. And
is it Mindhunter or Mindhunters?
I think it's Mindhunter. Mindhunter. Sure? Have you watched the full series? Or have you watched this at all? Okay.
We watched like a couple episodes and then we put it aside and never went back to it.
The best, I'm not going to spoil it, but the best scene out of the entire show happens in the last episode towards the very end. So for anybody who's watched it, it's what happens with Holden when he visits oh gosh, I can't remember his name, the convict, the serial killer in the hospital at the prison. It is an amazing scene, and I was like super into it because basically it's a power thing, and this character realizes that it's very different to talk about a serial killer or to a serial killer when you're in prison and you're safe and you don't have to, like, everything they've done is a story you've read on paper or a photograph you've seen, not having seen it in real life. But when that danger is actually there in that room with you, it is a completely different feeling. It was just a really good scene. And that show does get better as it goes along, but I don't know how much better. It's good, but it's a little bit slow, and it took me a long time to finish it.
I can't remember if we've watched 2 or 3 episodes. I don't remember.
Okay. It took me about, I think, till I got to the halfway point before I really got interested. Not interested, but hooked on it, I guess. But yeah, it's a good series. It's not the best. I think True Detective was better. If I had to pick between the 2, I would have picked True Detective, at least season 1. But it's good.
I want to watch that at some point.
It's good. Both of them are good. Everything's good. It's all good. Speaking of good, Speaking of finishing things, I finally watched the 3rd of the samurai movies of the trilogy that I had been reviewing for True Myth Media. And I have half of my review written, so that'll be coming up. So I'm not really going to talk about it. But I will say I watched it, and it was worth it to cash in on the first 2 movies and then have this be the last in the trilogy. It paid off, and I appreciate that, because I was struggling with this whole trilogy as to whether or not I liked it because it was good or because I knew it was an old movie that deserved respect. So I'll talk about that a little bit in the review, and I'll post a link to it in the Discord or something, or I'll share it around. But
okay.
So I don't want to steal my own thunder, but it is coming, and yeah, I was glad that I watched the whole series. So it was very cool.
Sweet.
So I'll look for that coming from me in the future.
Ooh.
Well, actually, Thursday. By the time, maybe.
By the time you're listening to this, I don't know, maybe it'll be out.
Pretty much, that's what I was about to say. So yeah, there you go. That's what I did.
Excellent. I'll look forward to it. Good. You ready to do some around the web? Shall we go around the web? Let's end the show.
Around the web, around. I felt bad because we had to skip because of Josh just going on and on and on. Can't shut that guy up. Damn you! I had to skip to stories brought to us from Skinny Matt.
Well, we brought him back tonight. Dan
Yes,
Anthony starting it off. He was here in chat earlier. Thanks for stopping by, Dan. Pizza. This is coming from KTVU. Pizza, healthier breakfast than cereal.
Wow. That's
Fox 2, or excuse me, Fox 5 News. Say a nutritionist pizza healthier breakfast than cereal. Captain Crunch or Papa John's, Fruit Loops or Domino's. Those might sound like strange questions, but the answer can change morning routines for you or your children. Some cereals may be magically delicious, but a New York nutritionist says a slice of pizza could be a more nutritional way for kids to start the day.
Wow.
Chelsea Amer says a slice of pizza contains more fat but less sugar than most cereals. Well, yeah, that's
no shit.
I think that's common sense, especially kids cereals. And an average slice in a bowl of milk contain about the same amount of calories.
Who the hell drinks?
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. I misread that or misheard it.
Pizza has more protein. I don't know. That's a lot of calories in milk. But then again, I guess I drink either lower fat or almond milk or coconut milk or
yeah. I mean, I think the sugariest cereal I eat now is probably shredded wheat, frosted shredded wheat. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I have Cheerios occasionally.
I love Honey Nut or regular.
Oh, Honey Nut. Screw
Thank
regular.
God, I thought you were a cereal killer for a second.
We also have apple cinnamon and the chocolate ones right now.
Yes.
So
Did you ever try?
Living.
Did you try the pumpkin spice ones or whatever?
No.
I was halfway tempted.
I was just waiting for you to bring out a full Yas Queen in there. You were excited by those cereals. By those cereals.
Well, because I thought for sure you were going to tell me that they were the nasty regular Cheerios. I would take Bran Flakes over Cheerios. Regular Cheerios are probably one of the worst cereals I've ever had. Just saying.
Fun fact, this nutritionist suggests that Greek yogurt with fruit or oatmeal with cinnamon is better than both the pizza or cereal options.
Wow.
So
Really? Well, okay. Yeah, maybe not as much sugar, but pizza for breakfast? Pizza for breakfast?
Sign me up.
Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time.
So we're saying we usually have frozen pizza one night a week, usually Sunday nights. And I always have the leftovers for lunch the next day, and I'm like, so much pizza, but so good.
Pizza is good.
So good. Next up on the list, Mr. Skinny Matt. He brought us an article from the Nerdist. It says, Girl Scout put shirtless Jason Momoa on cookie boxes, and they sold. So like crazy.
Jason Momoa's.
Get it? Of course.
I get it.
I mean, that's an ingenious little bit of marketing, I find.
Who's buying this because he's on the box? What's on the box? That's stupid. I could just go online and look at the box and go, yep, there's Jason Momoa.
Yeah. So she, let's see if we get Young Miss Homebrew Summit deemed top cookie CEO of her era, which we think is a title that she has well earned. Blah, blah, blah. Her mom's a marketing professional, so that's probably helped. But there is, it doesn't say how much she sold. But basically, they got a custom box. They put Jason Momoa on it, and she sold a lot of them. So good on her. Wordplay.
I don't approve.
Aquaman.
I approve of the wordplay.
And Matt bounces back with Smoky Bar news. And wow, this site is terrible. Oh my god.
Smoky Bar news. Oh god.
You know it's good when you get some ads right at the top. It says Rod's oil change.
Oh god.
What is this god. About? And all the ads change. Like if I was still at my last job, we would get them. we would hit them because that's a bad ad practice. Because you notice that the ads like scroll. I've even seen the sites now that they have like your whole video is blocked by an ad, and it was really weird. It wasn't the typical like scroll. It was really clicky and stupid, and which is odd. I have my ad blocker on, and I'm still getting all these on this page. That's really very interesting. Anywho, Coopertown police need volunteers to get drunk on them. That's our headline.
Oh yeah.
This is in Coopertown, Tennessee. Police department's looking for volunteers willing to get drunk on their tab. 5 to 6 volunteers are needed, and volunteers must commit to a full day. Drinks and transportation will be provided by the department.
I completely misunderstood, and I thought police officers needed them to physically have people get drunk on top of them, and I was very confused. Not like to get drunk on them. It was weird.
Boy.
It was I was like, this is gonna be really weird.
Oh boy. The day of training will help officers make correct decisions during DUI checkpoints and traffic stops. According to Sergeant Parker, volunteers can request certain types of alcohol at a time, but don't expect top shelf. In case you're wondering, Coopertown Police did not invent this type of training. It's called wet lab training. It's a common tool used to educate law enforcement and professionals.
Gross.
So there you go.
Why is it wet?
There you go.
Why is everything wet in here?
I don't know.
Classic Dane Cook.
There you have it. That is how you do an episode of Fluxtaposed. Kapuya. It's episode 251. It's in the books. It's done. Put a bow on it.
It's like getting back on that bicycle. You get on your bike and ride.
We did it. We made it through.
Fat
That is
girl.
going to do it. Yeah. Thank you, Queen. Yes, Queen. Thank you to all of our patrons, but special thanks to our Arbiters of Awesomeness and our newest patron, Mr. Josh Brown, and then the rest of you. We love you too. Kevin Ashton, Kyle Heyman. There's always a debate on his name. Nobody knows. Nobody knows how to say it. Tyler Rolland, Tom Servo, Donnie Reese, Matt Knight, and our executors excellence, Josh Rarboni, Dan Anthony, Edwin Cal, Surian Ray, and Devin Tyus. We thank you all for your support. If you want to join the Flux Legion, please check out patreon.com/Fluxtapose. Congratulations again to Adam Leonard for winning this month's giveaway. We'll do another giveaway next month. Maybe you'll win. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. Goodbye. Good night. Farewell.